to these two to make sure we've got your show to show. I'll be right back.
Okay. Also, hey Carlos. Good to see you, even though I can't see you.
Imaginary waving back.
Yeah.
Now, I have face tracking, and I don't know if that is shown with just shaders or well. They are pre-designated animations.
Oh, honestly, that's no big deal. I think they will be able to see that.
Okay. So I'll make sure. Up to them. It's optimized enough, I'll say. The only thing is VRAM. Everything else makes it medium.
The only thing that makes my avatar poor, very poor, is because I have a lightsaber. That's about it. If I took that off, it would be medium.
We're not going to talk about my avatar.
How many lights it's got? It's like,
I could get into something a little bit more performance, like better performance.
it shouldn't be too big of a deal, I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Personally, I think you should stick with this avatar, because that's what it is.
I think so too.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Carlos is
Have
showing
to.
your avatars now.
Okay.
Shaders are showing. And also, I was half listening.
Yep.
Are we having a... Oh, whoops. Yeah.
I think just because many people are joining, it starts to lag people.
Oh, it's possible.
What was his name?
And
No, what was the guy at Ferality? He crashed during the closing statements.
Oh, Dalton?
Yes!
Our chairman.
oh no!
Oh my god, Dalton.
He actually crashed.
Little Poe actually died.
Oh,
Maybe we should tell him like to hide all avatars until he like interacts with somebody. Possibly that'd be a better
Smart.
idea.
Guys, good afternoon or good evening, as it may be.
Hello.
I'm Carlos. I'll be doing the streaming. In fact, the streaming is already playing right now. And I just want to say that when he introduces you, please stand where he was, and he's going to back up to the corner. And then after that, you'll leave the stage, and then he'll step back in, and then you'll run your film. And then I have a cameraman in the back of the room. When he calls you down with your entourage, you guys, I'll cut to that as you guys come down to the stage and sit on the couch. And have fun. Have a wonderful show. Congratulations on being in Raindance. All of you.
Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Do you have any questions or any comments?
Nope.
Okay, good.
No, I think it's
Not
pretty
my mind.
straightforward.
All right, great. And I'm here. I'm going to be muted, but Joe has access to my ears through Discord in the back. So if anything needs to be done, please. And this is getting recorded. So
Okay.
if you guys want a copy later on, you can reach out to Joe. All right. Break a leg.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Will do. Yeah. Let's go live.
Will do.
Oh my god.
Sean, I hear you. You're trying to talk, but I don't hear you. Okay. I just see a little green circle around your avatar is flashing. Alright. Good, understand. Let me see what you got for me. Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm going to take your camera. Oops. Don't get too far away.
No one saw anything, right? Right? Perfect.
started. We're gonna see the first screening, and then we'll go to the. Yeah, Shadow already. person, so we move off here in a second.
Oh shit, yeah. I'll say like here.
Do anything to assist?
We're still on time. We're still on time. We're not starting till the 10 past the hour, so we're still good.
Okay. Let me just show this person the heavy. Oh, invisible. Invisible.
Oh, this is all Carlos.
Yeah, but the one next to him.
Oh, that's his bot. That's his
right
extra
on.
camera.
I'm just trying to show everybody so I can
Yeah,
show
it'll be
parts of
really
the
cool.
video.
We'll be standing up there.
Pictures will be awesome.
Yeah.
So for me introducing the film,
I wonder
still stay
if
up
we could do it just in my menu setting. Sorry, I'll get out of the way if you want to address people. Just let me know when to go away.
just wait until after the screen and then plan.
No, I'm literally on Discord right now.
Both you and I will get there.
Okay, so it's you go out first, then you come back, and after the screening, we both
See how much my frames drop. Showing everyone's avatar. You know what? We're doing okay. YouTube.
I can also have a drink or some shot time.
Oh my god, there's so many people.
You want a drink?
She just joined.
What's up, gamer?
Sorry. Did you need me to do something?
We are good. We're just gonna keep everybody. I'm gonna go downstairs, go tell people to come upstairs if they're down there. We just started.
Did you want me to do that in case you have to address people, or?
We're good. We have 5 whole minutes. Paul's on his way back. We're good.
Oh, he just joined.
Just hang around here. Yes. Oh, perfect.
That was cool that Fia came for a minute at the last event.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk to her, even though we're friends. I was just running around trying to get stuff sorted for the video. Hey, welcome.
All right.
Oh, good.
That's a very good choice. I'm gonna go down.
Yeah.
Isn't that fancy?
Okay.
Watch the video. Familiar or not familiar?
Yeah, and he's out again. Okay, he's out again.
Why is that happening? Oh wait, no, you're back. No, I'm here. What? I'm here. Okay. Why do you think that is? Joe, go and announce it. Please, go and announce the film. Yeah. No, we still have to wait. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. All right.
Is that alright? Do you feel comfortable? I'm making my choice.
I'm gonna look at them now.
Which one of you?
last line of defense.
I do. Let me grab it real quick because honestly, that's like
Keep my
a
fingers crossed for you if need be.
that's a big.
Thank you for that.
I can do it. I can do it, but I'm like such a nervous Nelly, and I actually have it up. So push on the show.
I've actually never been
Reading questions off.
this many
Oh my god.
Girl, like,
But hey,
like you have no idea.
Yo, Loki season 2?
I'm sure we should compare notes one day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so good.
Cool. Oh look at! I love that. I haven't seen that yet. The video. Him on the video with that.
He's out.
The world cam. He's out. I think.
Poor guy.
I'm gonna come down and say hello to him.
Let's do we know where Marie's at? She's right there. Alright, let's go convene.
Oh, that weather's like, man.
There was like
That cursed UK weather.
People stop asking me for tech support in my DMs challenge.
I love Nebby. That's a good question. I've been helping Nebby come up with
Oh crap.
Maybe
not put that up.
Just a quick
We'll wait for Terry to come back.
and then she was like, what? And then you're my friend, you're saying me
He
babe.
would announce you, but if not, then I can do it.
And it worked.
Okay.
It worked.
Thank you.
I tell her,
Sounds
like,
good.
you're so amazing, you're so cool and swag.
Oh my god, Troppy, I never, 1 second, can you come here? I've never, I have never
Oh my god.
to say, like,
Every time I hear a camera click,
I haven't either. Hi y'all. Hello. It's technically time for us to start, but it's a little extra exciting this time. Can y'all hear me? I hear like feedback. Audio. Maria, I think your mic is doing something.
no, I think I should be fine.
Today's extra fun because Poe's having crazy internet issues. So he keeps kind of like leaving us and coming back. So we're gonna run this as a team, and Maria's gonna be helping us run questions if Joe disappears again. So sorry about this, but it'll be fun.
Okay, we can still wait perhaps for a minute in case Joe comes back. And if not, then we'll kick off without Joe.
With that awesome, crazy, chaotic Raindance energy we all love.
Yay!
Yay! All right.
I got the Freddy Fazbear.
I need to just,
Maria, I have feedback coming back from your microphone. It's like white noise, like when you stand on stage. Is the audio's going off on your microphone?
God, there's so many
Well, it's like if the microphone is your desktop or something, or a fan is running, or if it's raining.
I don't honestly, Troppy, then
It might just be your mic it might be your mic activation threshold. I usually have mine around like 10, 12.
It looks better now.
I put now on 7. Okay.
Oh, there goes my hand.
It looks better. It might be amplified when you get up there, so we'll
1
just see.
second. I need to find the URL and potentially put it in.
It's on the document. It's on the document.
It's right in the chat.
I expect nothing less.
Oh yeah, Astro's turn signals.
Oh my god.
he does.
Here's the important one.
You've got your left blinker on.
I got my hazards on.
That's not nice. Oh.
What the fuck you doing down there?
Yeah, I would be happy to host you guys. If
I
you
had to
guys wanna come in.
recalibrate. And I didn't want to fucking figure 8 in front of everybody. I didn't want to like do my little figure 8.
Okay.
Like standing up. I just became small. What's your
Take a picture of what Astral's like in the background.
It's baby Benito.
Oh, there you go.
All over. I think. Yeah.
Were you able to get it?
The URL is in, but I can't click like play.
But we didn't know anybody and we were very confused. But it was totally fine.
Can you guys be with Carlos on the Discord chat? Can you guys listen to him? If I do that, the audio device is gonna go crazy on my end.
So crazy.
Oh,
Like, actually can.
Um,
I'm
Troppy, I can go and
oh, that's overwhelming.
Troppy, I can go and try and put in the URL.
Goodness.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna need to hide something. Yeah.
Oh,
I hit go.
No, it's not. Hang on.
But we don't see it on the screen.
Yeah, it's playing.
I can hear it though. Oh no, I think it's playing. Alright.
See it?
Here we go.
I'm sorry. Somebody hurt you when you were younger, but why'd you take it out on me? Now you're over, soon you'll see. I forgive you. It's not your fault, you're so freaking evil.
Goosebumps.
I'm like, I have no idea.
That was insane on the big screen. Oh my god.
Okay, once again.
Hold on, one person at a time.
Is it going back up?
Rotate itself.
Back on again.
Nobody,
let me mute
nobody click
myself.
on it.
Alright.
Did you also get the thing where the lights?
Alright, thank you so much. That was amazing. It's my great pleasure to invite the director, Astral Melody, on stage. Please join me, alongside with the cast and crew. Thank you.
Bravo.
I hear that now. The like delay thing. Oh, it's coming from the delay was coming from the Discord call.
Oh, I have that
Okay.
up on the YouTube, but I'm muted.
Let's take a seat.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me here on stage. So,
Thank you for having me.
Joe has prepared. Joe has prepared a series of questions that I actually have here in front of me. So I'll try to stick to that narrative. Yeah, that's an incredible music video. Thank you so much. And one thing that I'm very, very excited about, amongst many other things, is that one of the shooting locations you chose for the music video was actually Dr. Morrow's World Organism, which was also Amoka shot their music video there as well. So what was the kind of inspiration behind that? And there is, in addition to Organism, there were a few more other worlds. So if you could perhaps elaborate on those choices. Thank you.
Okay, so really it boiled down to like trying to figure out a world or a series of worlds that like consisted of a variety of like really abstract environments, because Light and Void is essentially a story about an individual like whose soul was essentially split apart into two, and Light being one of them and then Void being the other. But Void was basically like her powers essentially have a lot to do with like changing reality and like making like shifting illusions and things like that. So finding a world that had like a variety of environments that kind of fit the aesthetic that I was kind of going for.
Right.
It really boiled down to like the world selection, but then like the lighting was a really big thing too, and I kept coming back to Organism, and actually the other one was Epilogue Part 1 from Dr. Morrow as well. Yeah. Those worlds had like an exorbitant amount of environments that were all wildly changing from each other, but one of the main constants out of all of it was the lighting. And being able to use both of those and like having such a variety of environments at one disposal in one world was really great. The only other one that was also there was like, I forget the exact name of it off the top of my head, but it was in the credits. But it's a volumetric world, and like you can use like little spotlights, flashlights that have a like pretty heavy volumetric lighting on them. So I basically repurposed those flashlights as a spotlight, and that was kind of what the introduction of the whole video was centered around too. So that's kind of like why I used Organism.
We're extra excited because last year the Organism won Best Immersive World Award at Raindance. Yeah, the second question that Joe has prepared was actually, we're curious about the themes of the video too, which you a little bit touched on just now. You had some goals about creating abstract messages, which we'd like to hear a bit more about. So can you elaborate on the poetic messages you were interested in exploring?
So a lot of the storytelling and the main part of the story was basically trying to this is essentially like the climax of like the end of like my first season of Light and Void, and this is where we finally get to see that like the storytelling that was based on the lyrics, but then also the story that I had along with it was about Void, who not necessarily like, even though like I portray her as being like the antagonist and everything like that, she's also the victim. She has had a lot of terrible things happen to her, in her life since like Light wasn't as nice of a person to her as it kind of was made out to be up until then, and she basically was forcing Void to take a lot of the blunt force, dealing with a lot of like heavy trauma in her lifespan. And Void was the only one that, like, so whenever like a bad situation happened, Light was just like, okay, here, Void, handle this. I don't want to deal with it. Have fun. And if that's the only time Void ever got to experience anything, like, that's not a good life. And over the course of time, those experiences really kind of like reached a boiling point. And using the evil by Aviva was like one of the main things that kind of like really helped kind of encapsulate how I felt Void was supposed to feel at this given moment. If you look at the lyrics a lot, they speak really solid and true to Void's state of mind. And trying to, use that, but then at the same time, like Aviva's song was also, it's kind of a spur of the moment song. It's kind of like a, like I feel this way right now and I'm going to act upon it like right this second. At least that's kind of like how Aviva actually kind of referenced the song herself. So integrating that and doing a little bit of the storytelling, like we had a little bit of a flashback scene early on too, to where we kind of got to see a little bit of like Light kind of forcing Void to kind of like take some like really scary moments by herself, and she didn't want to do that. So and then we kind of like afterwards we see after everything that's happened, like finally Void gets to have a little payback, and maybe she's taking it a bit too far, but she's so caught up in the moment, like she's completely blinded by her rationale. For that rationality.
There's also a lot to unpack, technically. So we'd like to start with lip syncing. How did you achieve that? Did you sing the lyrics? Did you speak the lyrics?
So in my time recording previous music videos and other kind of like songs-based stuff along with that, I've tried like having the song actually play through my microphone or like my audio source, but what I discovered is that how my visemes with like the mouth kind of like operating based off of the sound, using the song itself really distorted a lot of the actual like how the mouth formulates visemes. So what I had to do instead was actually like, sing or sometimes speak the lyrics. Sometimes singing didn't really work too well because sometimes like the pitch was a bit too low or like it was a bit too soft and it wouldn't pick up my visemes nearly as well. So sometimes I just had to like literally like monotone say the lyrics like this, like your EVIL, and just to be able to, get the correct pronunciations going on. And sometimes I had to say things that weren't necessarily, what were actually said. Sometimes I had to like change it up a little bit just to kind of shape the mouth a little bit more in the way that I was kind of intending it to be.
Can you say it again? Maybe teach the audience. E-I-L.
So yeah, so sometimes I would be like, your EVIL, you're all under your spell. Instead, like sometimes, and then sometimes that wouldn't work, so I'd have to be like, your EVIL, they're all under your spell. Like I had to kind of get like a little stupid here and there, but nice. That's kind of like what you have to do sometimes.
It actually also applied to... so sorry. You can go first.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. This also extended to the fight choreography scenes as well as some of the action shots, because there are shots where one of the characters is baring their teeth, like primarily when Void gets a blow to the side of the head, and she
I forgot
tightens
about
her
that.
fist, and she bares her teeth. You can't exactly without face tracking, of course, get that teeth baring on the fly. So you do have to just say E as you're going in to get that E visine to bare the teeth. So for a lot of the takes, there was a lot of just E. It was kind of funny on set.
Yeah.
But the product turned out absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't be happier.
Funnily enough, this was actually Joe's next question, but there's
Oh my God.
incredible fight choreography in the video. So I don't know, read Joe's mind. And we understand that you collaborated with Legend. So how did you approach the
Yes.
sequence and directing your performers, and how long did it take?
So okay, that's the question of the hour, right? So, I gotta tell you, I'm really not that experienced with doing some good fighting choreography. So I reached out to my friend Legend, and
Right.
Legend is all about fighting choreography and martial arts and everything like that. They are pretty much the subject matter expert in VRChat right now when it comes to martial arts, physical combat. At least in my circle, that's kind of how it is. But so I reached out to Legend. I was like, "Hey, Legend, I have a project that I need some help on. I have maybe about a 15-second sequence that I need fighting choreography with. If I throw some money at you, can you help me out?" And he was just like, "Yes, I would love to help." So he gave me a couple drafts of different sequences, and he let me choose which one that I wanted to go for. And then I was like, "Okay, cool. I want to do this one." And so from there. It took, Hotnor right here can kind of go into a little bit of detail here in a second, but it took several weeks to get the actors to really get understand what the choreography was, kind of get it down to some level of muscle memory. And then on top of that, there was so much more that had to be done while we were shooting. Because practicing it by yourself only gets you so far, and it really takes having to work with the other actor while also having the camera operator, which was me, because we had to fight latency. Latency is one of the biggest enemies when it comes to doing any kind of if you're the camera operator but you're also acting, you don't have to worry about latency too much. But when you're only the camera operator and you have two actors, maybe Han's latency is 75 milliseconds, but then maybe someone else's is 250 milliseconds.
Yeah. So
and you have to basically fight blind. Yeah. So can you elaborate a little bit about how the process was for you?
It almost was like learning the choreography twice over. Once for, of course, watching a reference video, because the person we went to, Legend, supplied a reference video of the choreography from both perspectives. So I took the space of Void where Firestar, wish she was here, took the space of Light. So we both, for a solid week, we took over for just rehearsing on our own. We had no other points of reference. And we just practiced amongst each other. We didn't really mind latency too much. And then when it came to actual shooting days for particular scenes, that's when we all went over to on site, and we started going, okay, we need to revamp how we do this, what the timing is. And also what was adjusted was where our hands were for punches, for framing, and how we were positioned. For a lot of the shots, they were jump cuts, but they were within mid motion. So we had to line up perfectly in between shots, and sometimes these shots had to be shot per day, one shot per day. There was a particular you remember. There was a particular shot where it was how long did it take?
So we shot this over the course of 3 days, but it was kind of spread out over a week, if I'm not mistaken. But Each one took 4 hours. It took 4 hours of like 2 hours to kind of like get everything down and like practicing and rehearsing to start doing takes, and then it took another 2 hours to get everything lined up. Sometimes we had lag spikes, sometimes just things didn't sync up correctly. So over the course of in basically like a 12-second fight sequence in Evil took 12 hours total to shoot, rehearse, and then also get the final take. So it was quite the endeavor, and we had to use like audio cues to.
I always remember like a specific metric to like gauge like how much we put into the fight sequence alone. 2 weeks of rehearsing, 12 hours of filming, 12 seconds of final footage. There's a lot of perfection that went into it. By a long shot, yes.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
I learned so much doing that. Because like now, what I would if I would do it again, like I would basically use a click track through SoundPad and have it timed out to where we could like sync the hits right then and there. It would have alleviated so much time, because the way that we did it, that it wasn't nearly as efficient, and that's why it partly took as long as it did. But knowing the things that I do now, we would have definitely used a click track and adjusted those click tracks based off of individuals' latencies as well.
Nice.
What we had been working with before. Yes.
You have almost a foresight of Joe's questions. You touched up
Great
on
minds
a
think
little
alike,
bit
what can I
about-
say?
Yeah. So next question is one key technique that is executed brilliantly in the video are the match cuts. The match transitions are great. And of course, it would be great for the audience members to understand a bit more. Joe presumes it was a mix of careful blocking in camera and perhaps some subtle work in post-production. So if you can elaborate on that point a bit more.
Yeah, so part of the storyboarding process was going in, taking screenshots, and getting the framing right. And it took 2 months of solid storyboarding to get everything as like nitpicky as I wanted it to be. And for each shot, I had to record, or I had to like jot down like what kind of millimeter of what was the millimeter for each camera that I was using, how zoomed in was I, what was the aperture, the f, and all of these different things, and I had the line of thirds to also jot down like where people were placed at a certain point, how far away the camera was, and all of that was very crucial to be able to like set up the match cuts to be how they were. In case some people in the audience don't necessarily know what a match cut is, a match cut is essentially like, imagine the framing, like if I was framed correctly here, and then I cut to a different one, I would still be in the same pose. But maybe the environment changed a little bit. Essentially, that's what a match cut is. They kind of change here and there depending on like more transitional stuff. But the fight sequence also is a great example of the match cuts. There were no green screens whatsoever done for that, and it really boiled down to placing everybody as correctly as possible. We used so many references for feet, positions, and I had to like also remember like how far away the camera was, what the zoom was, and depth of field and all that. We got super nitpicky on all the details.
A lot of it showed up as footnotes. A lot of it showed up as footnotes on the actual recordings themselves. So as soon as Astral would hit click on the camera for recording, she would give verbal notes to herself during post-processing saying, okay, Light's foot is on this rule of third and her head is right above the top line of thirds, for example. And then she would use that in post as reference to line everything back up if things were slightly off.
Yeah, we were actually wondering whether there have been any green screening techniques or not, but yeah, that's really impressive.
So, I do want to touch on that for a quick second, because my goal for this production was use as minimal green screen as possible. So the only time that I used green screen was the falling sequences. So in the first one where she's falling through, where Light's falling through like that little like tunnel at the start, and then the other one was at the end where she's thrown off a cliff by Void. Those are the only two instances of green screen throughout the entire video.
Right. On the side note, Joe loves that you have a dolly zoom in the video, which is fantastic. And it's clear you have very carefully considered the camera movement and angle to suit the music. We would also like to touch up on your incredible avatar design. The Void character feels perfect for the video, especially in the transformation scene. Did you make any adjustments specifically for the video, or was the avatar part of your inspiration in the beginning?
Oh God. We actually have the retexture artist here as well in the audience right here, Ember Dragoness.
Oh.
She's the one that helped design Void.
Can you wait?
You want to come up here and come up here and give a shout out? So this is Ember Dragoness, one of my best friends as well, and she was the one responsible for doing artistic liberty with Void's design and doing a lot of the, like every single model that was in a Void that was done in Evil, she was responsible for. So
yeah, all of the dark avatars.
Really great work. It was great.
It was
Thank you.
Really fun working on all your avatars.
It was great. Thank you so much. But the only other person, you can sit there if you want to go out there. That's fine. I don't care. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Thank
but
you.
The other person, so I also designed Light here, but I also had Nefertiti, who's another good friend of mine. She was the one responsible for Light's design. She took my original design that I had and basically just went all totally wild and crazy with it. I've fallen in love with it ever since, and yeah, so I have Nefertiti and Ember Dragoness to thank for such beautiful designs of these characters.
Amazing. Joe has also found the time to watch the deep dive video that you made.
Oh God.
He absolutely loved that you shared a development animatic or sequence of stills. Can you share the process with the audience here? And what helped you to plan the video? And we also love how shocking the ending is.
Yeah. God, I wanted to. The ending was basically just like my version of like having like a Avengers Infinity War kind of an ending where the bad guy wins and no one's expecting it. But the storyboarding process. Okay, so my creative process when it comes to music videos is always start with the music first. It's the one thing that I have little to no control over, and if I can use that as the foundation for what the video will be, it makes the end product a lot more fluid and seamless, and like it feels like it was literally made for it, because well, it actually was. But so like I kind of like, but the storyboarding process for me is basically like figure out some worlds that kind of like fit the aesthetic that I'm kind of like going for. Go in, do a couple of blocking here and there, figure out camera angles and things like that. Using screenshots is literally the best way that I know. It's so efficient, and it like you can get everything that you need, and then when you're going into your editing software, you can basically just take a massive look at the big picture, figure out how flow is, if you're breaking any rules of thirds, if you're breaking the 180-degree rule, any kind of things like that is kind of like, that's because of how much I storyboard and how critical I am of that phase, is why the end product looks the way that it does for me. And I really do take a lot of credit with taking high resolution pictures now, because maybe I want to do some a little like slight adjusting on what the camera's doing, or maybe I'll put in some notes in my editing software, like, okay, maybe this, like maybe reshoot this one, maybe framing was off for this one, like adjust the zoom, things like that. But yeah, it really is heavily centered around taking screenshots, finding the correct worlds. I have some resources like some other VR photographers on Twitter. I have a list of all of them that I utilize heavily to help me find worlds, and then oh cool, like there's this cool world, and then like I favorite it to one of my lists, and yeah, so
As a
more or less
curator,
that's
I
kind
can
of like a
relate
deep
to
dive.
that. Curation of immersive worlds. I think Joe is already in the instance, but one kind of perhaps question from me to both of you. What would be your advice to either people who are inspired to create music videos and perhaps are kind of on the quest to create their first music video, as well as to filmmakers who are thinking about creating films with fighting scenes, but just kind of like key takeaways?
Oh wow.
I've actually had the pleasure of working with somebody on their first music video. My friend and like a brother to me, Vexgate, is working on a project. It's a D&D inspired full-on energy over there. He's working on something called Darkage Nightborn, in which he made a couple proof of concept videos to put onto his TikTok page, and he's planning on posting them to other platforms as well. I gave the advice of not only networking, but also just go through things in a methodical and more collaborative way, because he initially went about it in a directive way where he was giving all the direction, just basically telling everyone what to do in certain places. But over time, everyone started giving their own input, and everyone worked collaboratively, and the project turned out absolutely great, and it's something that even inspires me.
Aww, that's lovely.
I know like for some of the people who are on Quest and who are just trying to get started, I get people like left and right saying like how inspired they are by the work that I do. But I would like to kind of like also let everybody know that like you don't have to have full body tracking. You don't have to have like the highest end PC or anything like that. Like you can literally just like have VR, like just, regular VR, like just the controllers and the headset, whether it's Quest or not, like you can do all that stuff. And but you have to think a little bit more out of the box. And what I mean by that is like maybe utilize some of these like MMD animation worlds for some of the things that you would like to do. And it has like pre-built animations for like a wide variety of songs. And you can utilize the animation that way to be able to get the full body, acting effect that you're looking for. Or maybe like focus primarily on like half body shots. So anything waist up. You don't necessarily have to show like, the full body aspect as much as people think that they might. You just have to be a little bit more creative. And
experiment.
Yeah, no, it's all about experimenting and like trust your gut. Like, I mean, I had to start somewhere too, and I do this as a hobby. Like, I don't have any degrees in film. I learned a lot of my stuff through YouTube. Studio Binder shout out if anybody watches that YouTube channel. But I had to learn a lot of this by myself and like really analyzing like cinema videos, music videos, whatever it is. But like using that and trusting my gut and just going out there and taking the leap of faith. And that's really where it starts for anyone who's inspired and just wants to start out.
If it's another piece of advice I can... Absolutely. If it's another piece of advice I can give out to the people that I have helped and to people who are just starting out as well, I also, like a bunch of Quest people and people that don't have full body tracking yet. And a lot of these people are discouraged from posting content of any kind online because they don't think they'll get much attention from the media if they can't move their legs. But I personally also know someone named Darks of Midnight who can't even do his own recordings because he is on standalone Quest.
That's right. Yeah.
So he already has garnered up to 14, 15, 16,000 followers on his TikTok page last I checked. And he has like a small group of friends that helps him with just camera work in general. And he also thinks outside the box, and I love what he sees.
Yeah, and sometimes limitation can produce some very interesting creative results.
Absolutely.
All right, Joe, would you like to join us on stage? And I went through all your questions, but just to perhaps wrap up the session, if you'd like. All right, come on over here.
Well, firstly,
chair,
I have
take
to
the director chair.
apologize for my internet going down. I have a feeling that Void is in my neighborhood and like pushed my internet off a cliff or like sabotaged me in some way. I think I'm fully blaming Void because it was only before your screening that this occurred. But Maria, you did such an amazing job at asking questions. That was such an amazing
Thank you
conversation.
for
I was watching
preparing
on my
amazing
phone.
questions.
So, a huge applause for Maria taking this. Before I want to say thank you to you, I also want to say a huge thank you to Carlos Austin, John Harvey, and we also have on camera today, let me remember the name, Victor Posa as well. I also want to say thank you to Lucy Liu for creating this beautiful world that we're hosting the festival in, Troppy Fangs for helping to make this event happen, and Maria for making this event happen and for jumping in when I couldn't. For improvising. Yeah, you did amazing. And finally, huge thank you, Astral, Hans
Thank you
Nor.
so much.
I was watching on my phone. This was such an incredible conversation. Thank you for sharing your music video.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching, everyone. Huge round of applause.
Woohoo! Picture time!
So we're going to have a short break now. And for those who wish to stay, and please do, we're going to be watching Lidifer's The Adventurer music video in about 20 minutes. So we've got a nice break, and if anyone wants to chat with Astral a bit more during the break, please do. You know, we'll have some chat in the lobby, but in the meantime, I want to grab some photos of you both.
Okay.
And maybe we can get some here. For those watching on YouTube, please stay with us. We're also going to have a 20-minute break on YouTube as well. Yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you in about 20 minutes. Thanks, everyone.
Woohoo!
All right. You made
it. Okay. You're like, oh,
You
stop it.
slayed
I want to
it,
grab
girl.
your photo. Okay. You stay there. Let's turn.
Amazing! It's my great pleasure to invite Lidifer, the director of the adventure, on stage. If you could also please bring your cast and crew. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Droppy. Yeah, great round of applause for Lidifer, the director. Bravo! Okay, let me lock myself in place here. Thank you. Is anyone else joining you
Nope,
today?
just me.
Okay, lovely. All right, let's take a seat. Oh, there we go. There we go. This one, sorry. Shout out to Pranada, who is my avatar designer. All right, thank you. So Joe and I learned that this is not apparently your first music video, and definitely not the first music video of this action style either. So our first question is, what has led you to directing such action style music videos, and what inspired you to create Adventure?
So a short life story that I'll just tell everyone is that when I first went to college, I went for architecture. I dropped out and I didn't like it, and I was in a bit of a depressive state at that point. But then I got into VR, and then I found Yakuza's boss battle world, his Luxurian world. And then the first music video I made was about that, and I want to make my friends look cool. I wanted them to look like they're heroes fighting against a big oppressive monster. And then I discovered a passion for filmmaking, and then I decided to turn it into a story. And that's right now you see the culmination of the several music videos that stemmed from this one boss battle that I played 4 years ago. So that's how I began.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Yakuza has been a great inspiration for us as well, and for me personally as well, to create virtual worlds for Raindance back in 2020. So yeah, mutual passion for what he does. We're also curious about your approach crafting each scene. Joe says that he remembers that last time you guys spoke, you discussed listening to the song and adventuring across different worlds to find relative themes. So we'd like to hear a bit more about your approach finding space and composition too.
Yeah, so being an adventurer, I have an advantage. I can find all kinds of worlds without effortlessly. And so whenever I'm making a music video, my immediate thought is just I want to listen to the song and let the emotional beats hit me, let it resonate, and then craft cinematic moments of that song. And then I start to craft what's happening, what are these characters doing, and put the scene by scene, by writing notes I want the camera to spin here, I want it to do this, I want it to set right here, zooming in, all those notes just from listening to the music. And I do that all in my little notepad thing. And then once that's done, I decide then to storyboard it. So I draw a bunch of stick figures, and then several pages. It looks really bad. You should see the sketches, but it works, to help me generate what I need. And then once that's done, I then move into the actual filming part, or I locate the worlds I want and film in each one with that process.
Right. I feel we should perhaps do a little virtual museum where we could include the sketches for everyone to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your editing style is also very, very snappy, which complements the music really beautifully. At what stage of your production do you start thinking about the edit? And do you imagine the cuts as you are shooting? And Joe has joined us, but yeah, please feel free to answer this question, and if he's back, then I'll hand it back to him.
Yeah, so also, by the way, you're a great host, so thank you for
Thank
asking.
you. I'm great at improvising if there are great questions.
The editing part, I'm already thinking about when I'm listening to the song, what scenes and how long they're supposed to last, because I usually the music, I'm really basing everything on the music, right? If I was making a short film, it'd be the complete opposite. I wouldn't think about the music at all until we get to that point. So the editing process is already happening even before I even get to that point. And some of the ways I go about filming is I don't film everything all at once. I film a section here, edit that where it's supposed to go, and then maybe the next day I edit or film another piece and put that where it's supposed to go. So like taking pieces, creating the pieces, and putting them into place over time, and then it slowly becomes a cohesive video, as you saw there.
Yeah, and just like with Light and Void music video, choreography is very important, especially for fight music videos, and latency is also a concern, as we heard before. You captured that really, really well. So what's your overall approach? How do you approach that?
Yeah, so slowly it's gonna go away, but I like green screening my characters. So 90% of this music video was just only me acting. Because I didn't really have that many people available to help out at the time. So the fight scenes, I had to like create my own choreography, have the characters attacking with their swords in the perfect positions, and then overlaying a character on top, and then adding extra effects to make it look you don't even see the green screen.
And one shot we also love is the arc shot that reveals all the heroes standing in a line. It's really, really iconic. So talking about the characters, we really love how bravely you've built the story into the video. Can you share a bit more behind the lore? Is the lore something we can see in more of in another project, perhaps?
So no one will really know, but I'm planning on making a documentary once all the music videos are finished. But basically, these music videos are based off of real events that happened in my life, but they are fantasized to an enormous degree you wouldn't even know, right? There's a little bit of that magic in there of realism. This music video specifically is about how my friends brought me back from losing myself, because the adventurer is sitting in the lonely darkness, but he starts seeing memories of his past and also a future memory of what bad things could happen, as you saw like in the very beginning. So that kind of motivates him to get back up, and that's for me. The samurai you see in the beginning, that is a dear friend of mine, Alpha. The Atlantean princess, that's my other dear friend, Malachite. The little fox E-boy with the big sword, he's an old friend. I haven't seen him in a while, but he's he's a great guy to be around. And the little small blue one isn't anyone in particular. In fact, it actually is just a representation of my hope for the future, what makes me push myself for greater things. And so in the beginning you see her in danger of being destroyed, and that's what motivates the adventurer to save that hope.
Yeah, it's amazing how you put metaphors behind each character. Actually, I'm gonna leave the question about your next documentary as last, because we're very excited about documentaries at Raindance. Another image we love is the sequence with the bright blue flaring background as the hero slash. We presume that perhaps was a green screen, as you mentioned. Also, were they all you? And we're also curious how much of the project was performed by yourself.
So yeah, there's a lot of green screen that happens. 90% of the video is literally just me. So even when you see 4 characters on screen, like that's still me. I had to do that much work. My PC does not like me rendering that much. But you were talking about the specific scene where it's the confrontation between the samurai and the adventurer. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, when the two heroes slash, and Joe is here.
So the way I went about making that scene is, first I recorded the adventurer just standing there doing the action like he's about to do his slash, and then he gets hit, and then he falls. But then I green screened the samurai on there of him all he's just doing is standing there, and then he does this, but he doesn't actually move, right? And then I put another clip of him on the other side, and I used the flash to hide his movement. Now when you see the flash, he teleports from one side to the other, right? But what I did is I used that slash, that blue slash, to draw the viewer's eyes across the screen so fast, so it looks like he moved from one point to the other. And then the final part about that is, to make it even better, is I added a second overlay of the samurai, like he's creating an after image when he moves. So you'll like see him like move just a little bit more in that second version, and then you see the blue line go across, and that like gets that that slash in there.
All right, Joe, would you like to take it from here? And the next question will be about cameras.
Would you like to stay? And can we both squeeze on the sofa? Can we both squeeze on?
Or you
Do
take the
think,
director
co-host?
chair, and I can be here. Thank you.
I think we can both squeeze on.
Very, very, very comfortable sofa. Feels familiar. A couple of days ago,
you
we
like.
shot an interview here with Madame Kano.
That's very true. I apologize for my late interruption, but I don't want to interrupt anymore. Let's continue this conversation. I was so inspired about the kind of deeper thoughts behind the video, and that makes the kind of end quote so much more powerful than I realized. I love that you brought some realism and your own story into it. So that's just a point that I'm so excited to hear. But yes, continuing the conversation, I want to talk about camera. One particular technique that you use, which I think is really hard to achieve in VRChat filmmaking and in filmmaking in general, is the extreme close-ups. You have these amazing extreme close-ups on eyes, but they feel really weighty and powerful in this video, and I think it's because you choreographed such good movement, and it feels like there's motivation behind the extreme close-ups, which is really well done. And I don't know if I have a question attached to that, but I just wanted to say that as an appreciation.
Well, I can answer a little bit about it.
I would love to hear.
Talk a little bit. So the acting parts is whenever I'm in that, I'm really getting into it, right? Whenever I'm moving, it's always with intention. That is something I'm very particular about. Like, even my characters, you'll have like this sometimes where your characters are going to be, your arms are down like this. I always make it a point to always broaden my shoulders, depending on the character. Very intentional movements. And the eyes, that's a really tough thing sometimes, because my character's eyes like go one side or the other, so then I have to get another take to get them to like look at the camera. Sometimes I might even just like do a bunch of editing to make the eyes look straight at the camera. It takes a while, but that's something I do.
Yeah, I was really curious about your experience doing different takes to get the eyes in the right position. Whenever I'm trying to take a selfie, and I think a lot of people in VR can relate to this, your eyes are constantly darting around. You just want them to look at the camera, and it's the one thing that they're not looking at. But you accomplished it really well.
I know that quite well from group pictures, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do, yes. I'm curious about the group sequences. The sequence that I think the music video really comes alive in is when we see you adventuring, kind of bringing people together and uniting a community, it feels like. I love that sequence, and I'm curious what your process was like directing the different performers in that scene. Were they all friends, like you mentioned earlier? And how did you direct them to kind of get that, get those actions?
All right, yeah, so the group Squadron 47 is an adventuring group, right? And so at some point I was like, hey, guys, do you want to be in this music video? And like, you all are adventurers, and in this story, the adventurer is friends with all the adventurers. So I took some people and made them like the highlight and placed them in particular settings. Like there's a Team Fortress 2 engineer, and we put him in a steam a factory background. And I try to keep all the more important characters in every shot. So as it's looked like this party of 5 is traversing through all these people, meeting all these people, but they're all real. And then that final shot where you see like 30 different people, I try to get everyone's avatars who wanted to be in the video and shoot that. And that's funny. That's only 15 people in that shot. So we had to I didn't green screen, but I added multiple shots on top of one to make it look like there's so many more people.
Oh wow, that's really well done. Yeah, and I love that you're really including the adventuring community in these videos too. And that kind of leads me on on to another question of avatar design as well. I love the avatar designs we see, and it sounds like a lot of them are inspired by the people themselves, the friends themselves. But with this avatar in particular, it has an awesome dramatic reveal in the video. Was this avatar something that you tweaked for the purpose of the video, or was this video more of a way to showcase your favorite avatars?
So this is I use both the smaller female blue avatar, and I use this one just whenever I feel like it. But like there was always a point where I always use the small blue one, but I was like, I need a guy avatar. I really want that, and I did find one. But then it was that first version you see, and at the end. When I started to feel better about myself, I commissioned a brand new avatar to feel like an adventurer. And I was really happy with its design, and then I wanted to reflect that in this music video, and I put that in there.
Nice. Yeah, I think iconic, well-designed male avatars sometimes a little bit trickier to find, generally speaking, in VRChat, and so it's always a mission to look out for good ones and also commission in some cases. The last question that I had on my mind, I think you've already answered, and that's, what are you working on next? Sounds like you have a documentary, but I also know that you dabbled in narrative filmmaking a little bit, and I would love to hear a bit about your short film work, if you're willing to share.
Absolutely. So the documentary is not until I finish the last 2 music videos that come in this series. Right. The next video is called The Aegis, and then the final one is called The Legends. And so The Aegis is about hope standing up against evil by itself. And it's supposed to be a very dramatic and not a happy ending video. But The Legends, though, it's going to be the most powerful video, and it shows the 5 people you see here getting back together. Because they're all separated, they're getting back together, fighting against evil, with hope by their side. The short films, right now I currently am I have a script already made called The Bridge. It features 2 characters. One is an adventurer who doesn't want to be associated with anybody. He wants to live alone on top of his skyscraper, and then a young adventurer crash lands on there and kind of just ropes him back into it by reminding him about his past brother and those 2 connecting. So that is one short film that I'm currently working on. And once again, the documentary won't come in till after I finish the last 2 music videos.
Got you. Well, I can't wait to see the documentary, as Maria said.
Or end of 2024.
Might be end of 2025, unfortunately.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Good to know.
Maria.
Yeah, we're excited. We want to see more documentaries in VRChat.
Yes, that's very true. Thank you for sharing that. I've always been so curious about your work as someone who's been making films in VRChat for a very long time. I know that question was probably already asked, but this isn't your first video. I have shown your videos at other places and have an admiration for your commitment and inspiration for the sort of adventuring, kind of action-packed style that you have. Now, we have a good 15 minutes left. Would love to hear if anyone has any audience questions. Otherwise, we can certainly continue the conversation. If anyone has any audience questions, please come down. Fernanda, our Q&A king, is coming down. Great.
Awesome.
Our regular Q&A regular.
Yeah, please come join us.
Also my
anyone
avatar
else,
designer.
please come down. Yes.
Hi.
Hey, Fernanda, welcome.
Yeah, I saw one of the characters, the King's Raid avatar, one I uploaded a long time ago. Yeah. So how did you choose the avatar for your video? Basically.
So those avatars you saw were every person's personal avatar. So the samurai, the King's Raid character, his name is Alphaeus. He chose that character because he liked it, it's kind of like a very stoic man, doesn't smile, but he's honestly a really good guy to be around, and that's why I chose that. The blue entity that you see in the very beginning of her singing, that avatar was chosen because I wanted to have like a very kind of mystical, angelic avatar that seemed out of place from these characters a little bit. She glows in the dark, right? And she's like, doesn't look like a normal person that would be around this group. But to go back to your like main topic is that all the avatars here are everyone's personal avatars that they had, and I wanted to pay respects to that and use them in that way.
Yeah, there was but it was different style. It was not just once, like as the music video before. It was just all the furry, this similar style. And your video, they don't clash, but you can see it's different. But it's not in the bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's VRChat, so you have to. It's VRChat. Everyone is so different. When you see group photo, you see all kind of style, and that's what made VRChat basically. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going down.
Thank you, Fernanda.
Thank you.
What caught my eye from watching that, because that was my first ever viewing, that was absolutely phenomenal. It made me have that wow moment at the end. Something that caught my attention was the slow-mo shots of each of the characters going in and then slow down and then it ramps up for speed. I would like to know your process on that, not only as of like actually creating it, like development-wise, but what spawned the idea for that?
I think definitely it was like anime, right? You've seen those shots before, and I wanted to try it to see how it looked because I do not have the amount of manpower to create a big skeleton battle between 20 skeletons and 5 adventurers. So I kind of had to create an illusion of them like going in. So that's what I envisioned in my head, and I was like, let's see if I can do this. There's got to be a way. So on YouTube, I Googled to see some like anime background, and then I recorded the characters up close, so you can't see the legs, up close, and then I physically got up and then moved slowly. And then while I'm moving slowly, take it into the editing room and speed it up as necessary. So it starts out normal speed, and then I slow it down, and then I have a gradient where it speeds back up, and then I transition. As you can see, like the characters, like kind of transition into each other a little bit, right? The sword comes down, and then it's like the next sword, and then it was very intentional on like where they were positioned.
Got you. That's very creative work. I love to see it. Love to see more from you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Hatnor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I wanted to come
Hello.
I wanted to come in and immediately commend your body acting is phenomenal. Like the way you can express and show off your emotions throughout every single thing that you're doing. Like every moment of it had so much to tell, and I thought that was phenomenal. But I wanted to ask, actually, since you were saying that you were, the woman who was dancing, who was doing all the posing and stuff like that. And I had no idea that was actually you as well. And as a body actor, that's extremely amazing to see that I can look at it and not know that's you, So I wanted to say, it sounded like you started with her first before moving on to your adventure. And I did see that your adventure grew at the end of the little video there. But what I wanted to say was how long do you think it took for you to move from the dancing scene, from the elegant movements into the more, adventure style where it's rough and gruff? Like, how long do you think that took for you to start to master? Mm-hmm.
Well, like, are you talking about like my whole career as a filmmaker?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
my first music video was not great for dancing. I still had to be my own dancer back then. So, this one, I really wanted to focus on lip syncing and the dancing and making it feel music video. And not all that dance choreography was of my making. It actually was inspired by a real dancer named Bailey Sock. The person who the music that this comes from has a dancer. So I was studying her dancing, and I noticed that the words that she was speaking or singing matched with her movement. So I was like, oh, okay, this kind of makes sense. It would take a while to break down everything, but then there are some moves where I do 1-to-1, but there are some moves that I take for my own inspiration and use that same style that she was using. That's how I managed to do that.
Oh, that's incredible. Again, it definitely shows just the way that you almost frame by frame every single motion you did. So again, great job on your body acting and all this.
Thank you.
It's phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kit.
Thank you.
Hey, Ariel.
Ariel,
Hey,
hi.
so most of my questions got almost completely answered because I was very interested in the dancer and that part of the video. But I guess I'll just say like just a couple of things. Like one, how did you filming that part of the video with the dancers? With the dancing sequence, because I love working with dancers and I've filmed a lot of dancers before, so that's interesting to me. And second of all, I'm curious about like, is there like some specific way that the dancer ties into the lore? Like you said, she was like an entity of some kind or whatever. So I'm just more curious about that. But yeah, aside from that, all of my questions got answered pretty much.
So about those entities, there are 4 entities in this story. There are Angel, April, Zarina, and I forget what the last one's name is, but basically 2 are good, 2 are evil. Whenever they sing, they cause things around them to change and gives the person who they're singing to power. And in this instance, it's only the adventurer who's getting it. But then at the very end, at the after credit scene, you see the two evil ones walking to kind of show you what's to come, the next music video. But that's how they work. They're just beings and these spirits in this world to explain the music, kind of, to give it some like how it ties into the story itself. They just kind of influence the story in a very minor way, but in a broad sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And then just the other thing is that just as you approach filming that, because I didn't realize that it was actually you doing the dancing. So how do you approach filming a dance sequence like that when you're the one that's actually performing the dancing?
So it wasn't until this video is that I actually studied how to dance a little bit. The previous music videos, I just kind of did whatever I felt was good. But this one, I was like, you know what? Let me try something. I watched that dancer, and I was listening to lyrics, and I watched it back many times, and I saw that whenever she was doing something or saying something, she was kind of being representative with the movement. So I decided to take that and try to implement it in the choreography I made here. So not all the dancing I did was my own. It was her idea, Bailey Sock's choreography. But I did take her style and make some of my own, which you see at the very, very end, where I kind of like freestyle and using that style to my advantage. Oh, are you muted right now?
Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, I just mean like, did you mostly just use like static camera angles basically to like pin up the camera?
Oh yeah.
To dance in front of it. Okay.
Yeah, I had to use a lot of static camera angles so I could because I didn't have anybody to film for me, so I kind of had to play around a little bit. I did though give myself artificial camera movement, so I set the camera a little bit of distance away, and in post-processing or the post-process at the end, the editing, I have it zoom in just a little bit to give it like that a little bit of movement, and it feels better on the eye when that happens.
Well, it looked great. Did a great job. I didn't realize it was you dancing. Good job.
Thank you.
And a great video. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ariel. I want to kind of piggyback off Ariel's comment too and just say the angles that you have to complement your dancing are so much fun and bring so much energy to your performance as well. Like we've got high angle, low angle, the kind of like tilt, and it's all every time we cut to this character, it feels really energetic and exciting. And so I think the choice of angles, the choice of crop as well, the choice of the lens has really complemented your dance as well. And you can dance. So well done for learning. Yeah, but I just wanted to kind of compliment your choice of angles too. I feel we can wrap up there. Actually, Maria, you asked a beautiful question to Astral at the end, and I would love to extend this question for you as well, that if someone's been making music videos for a long time, do you have any words of wisdom or advice to give for other people who are starting out or wanting to make music videos or films in general? Would love to give you the opportunity to share any thoughts there as well.
I'd say let your heart guide you when you're making a story, when you're making a music video. This video comes from my heart, right? It's really deep rooted. People wouldn't know it at first, but letting that happen it's like making a cake, and you put that little secret recipe in there, and then something about it just feels extra magical. And so when you make something, put every bit of being into yourself. Even if people may reject it later on, it feels that much greater when somebody's like, oh my god, that was so amazing, and they want to see more. It's the most wonderful feeling ever.
Yeah, authenticity.
There's more authenticity in this video than I expected, but that's a wonderful comment to make, and I feel like I see it in a new light now after this conversation. So thank you. That's a wonderful note for us to end on. I want to say a huge thank you to our VRChat audience and to those watching on YouTube. Thank you for bearing with us with my technical difficulties, and a special thanks again to Maria for jumping on in my stead and helping to facilitate this conversation. You've done incredible today. Huge thank you to Carlos Austin, Fangs, and John Harvey, and also Victor Posa for running our YouTube stream today. The YouTube stream has been amazing. Thank you so much. A huge thank you to Troppy for helping to facilitate this event. Maria, once again. I'm making sure I'm not forgetting anyone. Oh, and Lucy Lou for this amazing space. And finally, Lidifer for sharing your music video with us and for sharing this conversation. This has been wonderful, and this has been another amazing screening at Raindance Immersive. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everyone. Picture time.
Thank you for watching, YouTube. We can cut the stream there. Thank you, everyone. Okay, if you want to stay here, Lidifer, you can stay sitting, or you can kind of stand epic adventure style.